Welcome to the deep dive. Today, we're really cutting through the noise to focus on just one single critical metric: strategic career value.
Right.
For you, the career-focused learner looking to make a serious pivot, especially into those high-growth tech fields, the choice of university isn't just about the name on the diploma. It's an intense, cold calculation of return on investment.
That's exactly right. And our mission in this deep dive is to really rigorously evaluate the strategic value of getting a degree from the University of Colorado Boulder.
CU Boulder.
Yeah. It's a major public R1 research institution, often called Public Ivy. And we have a huge stack of sources today. I mean, everything from its academic standing, detailed cost figures for 2025, 2026, all the way down to specific rankings and, what graduates are actually doing after they leave.
And we're specifically zooming in on the dilemma that you face as an out-of-state student. You're the one who has to justify that premium cost. Is the high-end academic achievement worth the substantial out-of-state tuition, especially when it's compounded by the notorious cost of living in Boulder? We have to figure out if the payoff really justifies that investment. Okay, so let's unpack this. Maybe we start with the foundation of its prestige and, the setting that defines it.
Sure. CU Boulder is absolutely situated at the top tier of American research universities, and that identity matters immensely for someone who's career-focused.
Right.
It holds the R1 designation, which stands for doctoral universities with very high research activity. That puts it squarely in the top 3% of all U.S. post-secondary institutions.
Okay, but hold on. If someone is focused on a career pivot, why should they care about an R1 designation? I mean, it sounds a little like academic jargon.
It does, but it's the difference between a school that teaches established knowledge and a school that creates knowledge. Being an R1 means the university is pulling in massive federal grants, corporate partnerships, top faculty who are all actively doing research. For you, the student, that means access to equipment, specialized labs, and, faculty connections that just don't exist at schools that are focused purely on teaching.
So it's not just a nice title. It's a guarantee of resources and a built-in network.
Precisely. And adding to that, CU Boulder is a member of the Association of American Universities, the AAU. This is an extremely exclusive club.
Very exclusive.
Yeah. It's the who's who of research clout, meaning a degree from CU Boulder carries this national and global weight that validates your skill set.
Okay, so now let's layer in the location. Because the Boulder setting is a massive part of the value proposition, both culturally and, I think, economically. Boulder is always ranked highly for quality of life. I think it was #1 best place to live in the U.S. back in 2022.
It's an enviable location for sure. You're at an elevation of, 5,430 feet right at the base of the Rocky Mountain foothills.
Yep.
The city population is relatively small, about 108,000, but it's exceptionally highly educated and just powered by this dense concentration of tech and aerospace firms.
And the campus culture totally reflects that high-octane environment. You're getting 300 days of sunshine a year. The sources we looked at highlight these traditions that just embrace that outdoorsy lifestyle. Year-round recreation. On Boulder Creek, you see students floating or fly fishing.
Right.
And then big events like the Nearly Naked Mile fundraiser and, of course, Ralphie running, the live buffalo mascot, which is just cool.
It is memorable, definitely. But for a career-focused listener, the real magic isn't just the scenery or the mascot. It's the specialized power that this high-tech setting enables.
Right.
That general ranking around #46 among public institutions is, it's fundamentally misleading if you are looking to make a career pivot into a specific high-salary field.
That's the ranking paradox we need to hit on. Why would a career changer spend 45 grand on tuition when they could go to a cheaper state school with a similar overall rank?
Yeah.
You have to make the case that these specialized rankings actually translate directly into better job interviews.
And the case is made in the niche dominance. When you look beyond the overall number and you focus on the technical strengths, you see that CU Boulder is operating at a tier 1 level globally in key areas.
Okay.
For instance, in aerospace engineering, they are not a #46 school.
They're a powerhouse.
Absolutely. The Aerospace Engineering Sciences undergrad program is ranked #6 among public institutions. The grad program is #8 nationally. This is crucial. Aerospace and defense companies are looking at those top-tier programs for recruitment.
But here's the data point that jumped off the page for me. CU Boulder is ranked the #1 public university for NASA research funds. That's a staggering claim, especially for an undergraduate. What does that mean in practical terms for the student who wants to, launch a satellite, not just study the theory?
It means opportunity, and often paid opportunity. NASA funding translates directly into specialized equipment, faculty with deep industry ties, and crucially, paid student stipends through programs like the Undergraduate Research Opportunities Program, or UROP.
UOP, right.
So your curriculum isn't just theoretical. It involves real-world hardware development in areas like structural design, propulsion systems, computational fluid dynamics.
And they have the physical proof to back that up.
Right. They do. Our sources confirm CU Boulder is the only university worldwide to have sent instruments to every single planet in the solar system, plus Pluto.
That's amazing.
And this isn't just a few grad students on a project. This level of funding and institutional commitment means the undergraduate experience is integrated into genuine space exploration. You are basically skipping the line and getting hands-on experience that others can only dream about.
And the excellence isn't just in space, either. Let's talk about their history of Nobel success in physics.
Oh, yeah. Look at the physics department. They have 5 Nobel Prizes awarded to current or former faculty for these foundational, world-changing discoveries. Everything from the discovery of RNA as a biocatalyst to creating Bose-Einstein condensation and manipulating individual quantum systems.
So having Nobel laureates on staff means the department attracts the best grants, the most connected PhD students, and that creates a really robust internal job pipeline for undergrads. That's the connection for our career-focused listener.
Exactly, and their specialized rankings reflect this gravitational pull of talent and funding. Atomic molecular optical physics is ranked #4 in the nation. Quantum physics is #11.
Wow.
These are highly specific, high-growth fields that are driving the future of tech.
Yeah, and we should probably mention that technical strength supports other departments, which bolsters the overall ROI case. The lead school of business is #21 among public universities. Environmental engineering is #8public.
Yeah.
That technical focus is clearly concentrated and nationally recognized, but that premium value seems overwhelmingly concentrated in those STEM disciplines we've been talking about.
It is. If you are going for aerospace, specialized engineering, or quantum physics, the value proposition is world-class. If you're going for a general arts degree as an out-of-state student, the value calculation becomes much, much harder to justify.
That distinction is so key.
Yeah.
So let's pivot from the value to the entry point. What does the admissions picture look like for students trying to break into this increasingly elite R1 environment?
Well, the academic profile is clearly strong. And while the acceptance rate, 76% for fall 2024, might seem high compared to, say, a Stanford, it actually represents a 30-year low in selectivity.
30 years.
So the school is definitely getting harder to get into.
So what defines a strong applicant then? Someone who really stands a chance of getting into these specialized programs?
Academics are absolutely critical. The average unweighted GPA for admitted students is around 3.79, and 2/3, 67% of admitted students had a 3.75 GPA or higher.
Wow.
They're looking very closely at the rigor of your high school record and your performance in science and math.
And they're test optional, which is pretty standard now, but for those who did submit scores, the scores were competitive. That suggests it still pays to submit if you score well.
Absolutely. For those who chose to submit, the middle 50% range for the SAT was 1180 to 1390, and for the ACT it was 27 to 33. If you have a score in that top bracket, it certainly strengthens your application. It validates your readiness for an R1 environment.
And for first-year applicants, the timeline is clear. You have early action, November 15th, which is non-binding, decision by February 1st, and then regular decision, January 15th, with a decision by April 1st.
Right. And the required materials are pretty standard through the common application. Transcripts, 1 academic letter of recommendation, a personal essay. But you should note the unique required component. It's an academic interest response with a very tight 250-word limit. This is where you, as a career changer, articulate exactly what you hope to study and why it fits your pivot. You have to use that space strategically.
Okay, so we've established the extreme value in these specialized technical fields. But elite value often comes with a steep price tag. So let's stop admiring the degrees and start analyzing the dollars. This is the make or break section for any out-of-state learner. The financial reality.
This is the critical point of financial diligence. CU Boulder offers a tuition guarantee, which locks in your tuition rate for 4 years. That's a big win for predictability.
That is huge.
But the sticker price is high. The base rate non-resident tuition and fees are $44,748 per year.
And for those highly technical majors we just championed, like engineering or natural sciences, that number climbs even higher. There's major specific tiering. It can go up to $48,736 just for tuition and fees for a non-resident.
And you have to add in the standardized on-campus housing and meal plan estimate. For a standard double room with a 19 meal plan, the estimated cost is another $18,504.
Okay.
So when you combine those figures, the estimated total billed annual cost for an out-of-state student is somewhere between $64,000 and $70,000, depending on your program.
That is a significant investment. I mean, that rivals many private universities.
It does.
And that bill is substantial enough on its own. But the real financial danger, the cost cliff, comes when you move off campus as an upper division student because the cost of living in Boulder is just notoriously high. This is the real tipping point for your budget.
It truly is the make or break moment. Our sources indicate that the local economic reality is, well, it's brutal. The median rent for all property types near CU Boulder as of December 2025 is $2,500 per month.
Wait, $2,500 a month? That's 30% or about $575 higher than the national average.
Yeah.
So the joke is you move to Boulder for the 300 days of sunshine, but you spend all your time indoors trying to figure out how to pay the rent.
Unfortunately, that's pretty close to the reality. A student looking for even a modest single-room apartment off campus is looking at roughly $30,000 annually just for housing.
Let's put that in sharp relief.
Yeah.
The university estimates on-campus housing and meals at $18,504. So if you move off campus in year 2, you need an extra $11,500 annually just to cover rent, and that's assuming you keep your food budget the same. That dramatically changes the viability of funding your degree just through loans or, part-time work.
You absolutely need meticulous planning. If you are financing the $70,000 annual cost, that off-campus housing hurdle of $30,000 becomes the single biggest threat to your financial stability in those later years. This high-cost, high-reward model demands you be in a high-salary major to justify that debt load.
Okay, so let's end on the value side to justify that risk. Beyond the classroom, what support systems, what experiential learning opportunities are in place to guarantee that the high cost translates into a strong ROI?
As an R1 institution, they fully leverage their research ecosystem for undergrads. We mentioned UOP, the Undergraduate Research Opportunities Program, which actively provides grants and stipends for undergraduates to formally partner with faculty on research projects.
And that's vital, because it means you're not just volunteering, you're getting paid or earning credit for real work. And those projects happen across 12 major institutes doing incredible things like GLA for quantum physics, LESP for space physics, SCIRS for environmental sciences.
This hands-on experience just accelerates your career path dramatically. We're talking about aerospace students who are literally participating in the design and development of hardware that gets carried to the International Space Station.
Wow.
That direct engagement with complex, real-world projects is what validates the long-term career value and helps students bypass that entry-level crush.
And that's what translates to those strong post-graduation outcomes.
Yeah.
What do the salary numbers actually look like?
The degree offers a really strong ROI. It ranks #2 in the Mountain West. Outcomes are excellent. 88% of graduates are employed or in further education within 6 months. The median bachelor's starting salary is respectable at $50,000.
But the long-term payoff is the real focus for our career changer. The median mid-career salary jumps up sharply to $143,200.
Yeah.
That $143,000 mid-career salary is your target. And it's why choosing one of those specialized high-demand technical majors is just so critical here.
They absolutely are. Graduates are being hired by the major industry players located right there in the region and nationally. Lockheed Martin, Ball Aerospace, Google, NASA, Raytheon, they are all major employers.
And the university supports this lifelong career trajectory, which is a key part of the value proposition we should note.
Yeah.
They provide dedicated alumni career services advisors, workshops for graduates throughout every stage of their professional career.
It's a long-term commitment.
Yeah, that's a huge value add.
And finally, we should briefly mention institutional transparency. For any major investment, knowing the health of the community is important. They actively monitor their campus climate with these campus culture surveys every 4 years to identify and address inequities.
Okay.
They specifically note that women, LGBTQ+ people, and marginalized racial and ethnic groups have historically experienced disproportionate impacts regarding inclusion, and they're actively working to address those findings.
And they maintain rigorous compliance with federal safety acts. We saw an example in the sources, like a December 2025 alert about a credible report of hazing with a fraternity, which resulted in an immediate interim suspension. That's under the Clery Act requirements. This kind of institutional commitment to safety and cultural improvement shows they are proactively managing the learning environment.
That holistic approach adds assurance that you're investing in a stable, self-aware institution that is committed to student outcomes and safety.
So here's the strategic summary for you, the career-focused learner. CU Boulder is a genuinely strategic choice, but only if you are pursuing those highly technical, high-salary majors like aerospace or specialized engineering, and you can aggressively leverage those R1 research opportunities starting in year 1.
For anyone else, especially non-residents, the high financial liability from out-of-state tuition, combined with the escalating off-campus housing costs, it demands an ironclad financial plan. And a high degree of confidence in your ability to land a six-figure job shortly after graduation. It's truly a high-cost, high-reward proposition.
And this brings us to our final provocative thought for you to consider as you wrap up this deep dive. You're planning a career pivot that promises strong salary growth. Given that the median starting salary for a bachelor's degree is $50,000, and you are facing a local median rent of $30,000 per year, what specific specialized major and what city, Boulder, or maybe Denver, where the cost of living might be slightly lower, provides the fastest path to financial stability? That is the real debt equation you have to solve before you accept that admission letter.
Thanks for listening to our brief podcast. If you want to learn how to avoid student loan debt, we have a roadmap in our College Savings Mentor Guide that can show you step-by-step how to save $40,000 or more on tuition. Check the link in the description and be sure to listen to more of our college deep dives.